میرے مولا کرم ہو کرم مولا، میرے مولا کرم ہو کرم، میرے مولا کرم ہو کرم مولا، میرے مولا کرم ہو کرم مولا۔ یہ زمین اور یہ آسمان تیرے قبضے میں ہے دو جہاں، یہ زمین اور یہ آسمان تیرے قبضے میں ہے دو جہاں، سب پہ تو ہی تو ہے مہربان، ہم تیرے در سے جائیں کہاں، سب کی سنتا ہے تو ہی صدا، سب کی سنتا ہے تو ہی صدا، تو ہی رکھتا ہے سب کا بھرم، میرے مولا کرم ہو کرم مولا، میرے مولا کرم ہو کرم، میرے مولا کرم ہو کرم مولا، میرے مولا کرم ہو کرم مولا۔ بے کسوں کو سہارا ملے، ڈوبتوں کو کنارہ ملے، سر سے طوفان پل میں ٹلے، جو تیرا ایک اشارہ ملے، تو جو کر دے مہربانیاں، دور ہو جائے ہر ایک غم، میرے مولا کرم ہو کرم مولا، میرے مولا کرم ہو کرم
Good evening and welcome to Loose Sisters. Now, I'm your host, Alvina Ali, and I will be joined by my panel made up of two loose sisters, hopefully she turns up, and two loose brothers as well. So, where we will be talking about all things news, views, gossip, and putting prominent people from Wolves in the spotlight as well. Now, on today's show, we will be discussing Ramadan and family during COVID. This is the second year, as you know. The radio station was set up last year, and we are still in that phase where we are stuck in the black hole. So we will be talking about that as well. And then also, we'll be talking about Ramadan, what it means for you, the family, your friends, and your work colleagues as well. And if Pav does join us today, we will be also talking about safeguarding, and also we'll be talking about charity, volunteers, and humanitarian work as well. Now, if you would like to take part in the discussion, feel free to ring in on 01902 972 150, or text in on 07440 420 432. So settle back and settle in for more of Loose Sisters. Now, joining me on the panel today, I have actually got Mani Singh. So Mani, please introduce yourself and tell our listeners a bit about yourself.
Right, my name's Mani Singh Kang, and I'm a resident, born and bred of Wolverhampton. I actually work for Network Rail on the railways, but my biggest passion, apart from my faith, is fundraising and volunteering for different organisations to try and help make a little bit of a difference to the people that suffer in our local community and the wider area. So.
Right. Okay. Now, as we know, people choose to volunteer for a variety of reasons. Now, for some, it offers them the chance to give something back to the community or make a difference to the people around them. Now, for others, it provides an opportunity to develop new skills or build on existing experiences and knowledge as well. Now, regardless of the motivation, what unites them all is that they find it both challenging and rewarding. And I'm sure Mani will expand on that very shortly as well. So my obviously guest, Mani Singh, he will know from his random acts of kindness that he loves football as well. He is a Wolves supporter as well, aren't you?
Yes.
A big fan. And also he devotes his time to humanitarian. So you've been involved with the causes for over the last 20 years now, haven't you, Mani?
I think, from the faith of from Sikhism, Seva is instilled into a selfless service. And so being involved in faith-based volunteering and helping is just part and parcel of our lives, and I've just tried to expand that to the wider community, because there's lots of suffering beyond just based on your faith. So sometimes you have to go out to people to help them, and they won't always come to you. So I've helped various charities. Currently I'm a volunteer ambassador for Dementia UK.
Okay.
And I've been with them for just over 2 years. Just a cause that's not really expanded on in our communities, especially. I think it's still a bit of a taboo subject.
Yeah.
And it's something that we need to get out, that there is help available for people who suffer with dementia. So it's instilled from birth, and the faith of being in Sikhi to do seva, to help people who haven't got food, who haven't got a roof, or who suffer from their health. 3 basic things that we all take for granted, that most of us have all got, but the ones who haven't need help, and all of us can help. So it's a motivation is that I think it's a compulsory subject. It's not
definitely
an option. I feel it's something that we should all embrace in some sort of aspect.
Right. Now, also in 2017, you took to Just Giving as well.
Yeah.
And you're also known as a regional volunteer or an ambassador, I believe, for Dementia UK, which you've highlighted.
That's correct, yeah.
And you also volunteer for WWFC Foundation as well, don't
correct,
you?
Yes.
So basically, you're all rounder. Now, we will touch up on WWFC Foundation a bit later on. But Mani, I know that you come with your own strapline on your Twitter page, which I've seen, and it's "Sing when you're winning." Sing as in your name.
That's correct. I set up the Twitter account 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago. I did a bike ride, charity bike ride for Birmingham Children's Hospital at the time, and it was a young. Inspiring young man who suffered from cancer for a number of years, and thankfully, God bless him, he's in remission and he's doing well. And at Sing, pedal as in cycling, because that's what I did, and Sing when you're winning is a bit of a take on a football chant. So it's something that the opposition taunt each other when somebody start singing and they say you only sing when you're winning. It's like a football chant. So I just adopted that, and the Twitter account grew because I think me and my sons, we go to the Wolves games. We dress up in the same colour turban as the football top.
Oh,
and,
okay,
and
yes.
suddenly we got recognised by a lot of people. And the following grew, and it was just an opportunity to involve lots and lots of people in helping with the charity work.
Oh, right,
and
okay.
that's how it grew into a huge something beyond even my control. I think it's been taken over by the fans. The amount of volunteers now that come and help in the events and in the causes is just amazing to see.
Right, you're amazing, sort of an individual, because I've been watching you, and we recently met ourselves as well,
Yeah, we
didn't we?
did, yeah.
So, Manny, tell us a bit about yourself as to how you actually got involved in charity work.
Again, like I said, it's something that I felt in the faith we do seva. So we go to the Sikh Gurdwara or we go to our religious festivals and we carry out seva.
Okay.
And trying to make that part of everyday life somehow. And it was just the wider community all suffers. So regardless of whether you're Sikh, Muslim, Christian, doesn't matter what background you're from, we all suffer from the same things. We all need food. So we're available to help each other all the time,
That's
not
good.
just limited to maybe faith or special events. So that just became a part of something that I wanted to really embrace. So it would mean that I was using some of the tools of our faith in everyday life. So charity took over. Did Birmingham Children's Hospital, and then after a year fundraising for them, a raise for crisis homeless charity.
Oh, right,
So
okay.
I did a few challenge events, like Tough Mudder, Wolf Run, half marathons.
Wow, spectacular.
So it's trying to get fit as well. So I was trying to get fit, and it was a good excuse to get fit, lose a bit of weight, and use the energy to raise funds.
Oh, okay.
And then suddenly dementia just popped. I think dementia came to me. People ask me, why dementia? Surely there's somebody who suffers from your family or your friends, and there's nobody. Touch wood, there's nobody. The thing is, a lot of people are inspired to fundraise because someone in their family suffers. So that inspires them to go and fundraise. What about the rest of us? Do we have to wait till suffering enters our lives before we do something good? I think if you're able and you're well, we should all be giving back. So dementia was something that I think was just not talked about enough. Kills more people than any other illness in the UK. There's over 300 types of dementia.
Wow.
Dementia is just the umbrella. So Alzheimer's is the most common, but there's actually 300 types. It affects young people now. So it's a really huge thing. And what Dementia UK do, just to let listeners know, they provide a service called Admiral Nurses, and these nurses are specially trained on how to deal with the families who help the person suffering. So at the moment, there's no cure for dementia. There's no cure. So people who get dementia eventually do pass away.
They do, unfortunately,
so to live with that for the family and friends is a huge, amount of turmoil and trauma.
Yeah.
So Dementia UK provides specialist nurses on the phone, and they go out and visit the homes to support the family and tell them how they can make the last few years of someone who's suffering their lives a little bit better. It's just over 300 nurses in the UK at the moment, and they're trying to increase that number to cover all areas. So.
Oh, right. Okay. Now, you also set up 2 dementia Just Giving pages as well, didn't you?
Yeah, Just Giving is, people criticise Just Giving, and there's a lot of admin when you're handling a lot of money, and you have to be transparent, and you want all the money to go to the charity.
That's right.
So for Dementia UK, over 2 years, we've raised just over £85,000.
Oh.
And so for me to handle £85,000 and then make sure it all goes and it's all transacted I probably have to spend a lot of money having it accounted properly. So Just Giving do that for us, and the current page is about £54,000, and it's just unbelievable the support and the effort that a lot of people put in. It's not just money. Manny's just there. It comes up with an idea, but then it's just a big support network of fans, of family, of volunteers.
Yes.
and the famous Samosa Saturday.
Yes, we talked about that as well. Yes. Do you want to enlighten us about the famous Samosa Saturday?
Well, you know what? I'm a bit of a madman when it comes to challenge events. So I rode to Liverpool. We played Liverpool away, and I rode my bike to Liverpool, which is a 100-mile bike ride, and so he's always doing challenge events. I'm in the London Marathon this year in October, and we thought wanted to involve more fans, just rather than me doing everything. And we came up with the idea of doing a bucket collection outside a football match, thinking 30,000 fans. If everyone puts a quid in, we're well away. But we went back home, and I'll say it was my mom. She'll probably say it wasn't her, but I'll blame my mom. And she says, we've got to give something back. We can't just ask for money. And so the samosa. When you go to a Punjabi house, you get the samosa out.
That's
Everyone
it.
has them. So, and that became a thing. And the first Samosa Saturday, we gave out 3,000 samosas.
Wow.
And virtually all of those first ones were cooked by us at home, and then it just became a thing. So we've done 4 events at the ground, near the ground, and since lockdown we've took it out as a delivery service.
Okay.
Our last one was last week, which was our 10th event, and we did 150 deliveries.
Wow.
12 volunteer drivers who were all Wolves fans, and probably 30 or 40 people involved in cooking and preparing, and that event raised just over £6,000.
Right, this was your 10th
10th
samosa,
version,
wasn't
Samosa
it?
Saturday, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's just took off. The demand, when I put it out, when we organised the event and I put it out on social media, within 16 hours we sold out all the slots.
That's brilliant.
And because obviously we can only make so many and we can only manage so many drivers with the restrictions in place. You can't have too many people, and they've all got to follow the rules and mask up. So we had to limit in a way, but the demand is almost unlimited. Even now, you get some people will text me and say, can I have 50 samosas, 20 onion bhajis? And I say, no, I'm not a restaurant. we're just a family at home, just cooking samosas. We just come up with the idea. We call it the humble little triangle, because it was just amazing that something very simple, and it has inspired a lot of people.
Definitely.
I think we've served just under 28,000 samosas in 2.5 years now.
That's brilliant. Tell us about the golden samosa.
The golden. It was, again, I just look at what fans tell me. A fan said, put a golden samosa, in one of the packs, and whoever finds it. A bit like Willy Wonka's golden ticket.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, I ripped off Willy Wonka, so I hope the makers don't sue me. And we just had a limited edition wolf shirt, and we gave that to the winner. So just another way of trying to inspire people to give. But even when I sold out, people contacted me and said, can I order some samosas? And I was like, I'm sorry, we're sold out, wait for the next event. Oh well, we'll donate anyway. I've had people come up to me on the events outside the ground. There's an old gentleman, he put some money in my hand. He folded my hand over, and he said, my wife passed away with dementia. I think it's absolutely amazing what you're doing.
Yeah. And
I said, have some food, have a samosa. He goes, no, I've eaten, give it to somebody else. I opened up my hand and I had £250 in my hand. And the generosity is it just blows me away that people, they dig in and they just do. You can go down the shop and buy as many samosas as you want.
That's right,
but because of the cause and because of what it's being done for, people are prepared to go that extra bit, and they think, rather than someone just shaking a bucket, they actually we're prepared to give them something back. Yeah. And it's a small outlay for us. People say, oh, the cost. It's not a cost. It's a worthwhile cost. We spend so much money in life on a lot of stuff.
We do. That's right.
That probably doesn't give us half the enjoyment, and so this gives us a lot of satisfaction. But to see people benefiting and just the community joining in. So all those people, the 12 volunteer drivers, they are so uplifted. They're so looking forward to the day they serve, the time after. So it's actually improving all the well-beings of all the people helping.
That's good.
Not in just the cause, that we can't see that. We're blind to the way maybe dementia are going to use the money and where they're going to improve things. But we can see the improvement it makes just in front of our own eyes, just by lifting community spirits, and especially at this time with lockdown and everybody's trapped, it's just given so many people something to look forward to, and meeting and communicating with other humans, which we all need to do.
Definitely. I'm just going to go into a text message here from one Wolves player to another. You probably know him. His name's Khalid Akhtar.
Oh yeah, I do know him.
He says, "Hi Alvina, say hi to Manny from myself. Good diversity."
Yeah.
So thank you.
His sister went to school with my wife.
Oh right, okay.
And we just sort of connected with me a few weeks ago, and we just found that out. And he's a big Wolves fan. Wolves were in Europe last year, the season before this, and so we had the opportunity to travel around Europe. I know Khalid went there as well.
So we touched on WWFC Foundation.
Yeah.
Tell us how you got involved in that.
Again, I think it just came to me. I didn't really. I do believe in destiny in life, and things do happen and they fall in place. And being a Wolves fan, and you saw this charity side of Wolves. So the foundation have been set up by Wolverhampton Wanderers to do work in the community. They help people with mental health issues, They have disability football teams, and now recently they've launched Feed Our Pack,
yes,
which is a big commitment by them over 3 years to feed the vulnerable people around Wolverhampton. So I was a volunteer for them anyway. I'd go and help wherever they wanted me. They've done a couple of sleep outs for the homeless, so I'll help them with that. And then this last Samosa Saturday we did wasn't for Dementia UK, it was actually for Feed Our Pack. We did it exclusively for them. So and again, just getting in touch with them, different suppliers of food and people who can help, and trying to redirect that to Wolves so they can use it. And they just did a big drop of parcels over the Easter holidays to a lot of vulnerable people. So it's just, again, football. People think football is just blokes on a pitch, kicking a ball about. That's but there's actually a big community in football, and for a lot of fans, it's actually more than that. It gives them a chance to meet each other, gives them a chance to socialise and get away from their everyday rituals of life, and gives them an escape. So that's what people actually miss. We want our team to win and do well, but it's that release that and football clubs do it in more ways than just the football. Thankfully, a lot of clubs have their own charity. There's a lot of money in football. Remember, there's a lot of big owners and big, and they should be doing more. I think they should be doing more.
Should be. Yes.
They've got the resources, and they could redirect them in a really positive way to help the local community, because it's that community that's supporting their club. So it's good what they've done, and the manager Nuno.
Yes,
he made a good
contribution,
£250,000 of his own personal wealth, which was a huge thing for him to do, and it inspired a lot of other people, and I think it inspired me as well to do more. So it's that cause has raised a lot of money already, and we don't want it. Remember, we don't want a cause that helps poor people in Wolverhampton, because everybody should have food.
Yes, they should. Yes.
But do we wait till governments have everything in place? So we're not. That's not what we're focusing at. We're focusing at somebody's hungry. They need food now. So can we provide them with food? Yes, we can. And we can all play a part again.
Definitely.
With donating, giving food, buying something extra. When you go to the supermarket, buy something extra, and there's always someone's shopping trolley, maybe the Good Shepherd or some other organisation that you can donate to, and every penny makes a huge difference.
It does make a huge difference. Right, we're going to go straight into a break, but we're going to give Manny a break as well, and we will come back and we will talk a bit more about the charity work and volunteering as well. Straight after the break, we've got Pav coming on, and we'll be talking about safeguarding. Okay, welcome back. And you are listening to Ramadan Radio Wolves on 87.9 FM. And you can also listen to us via the app, which is Ramadan Radio Wolves. And you can listen to us on our website, which is ramadanradiowolves.com as well. And if you've got Alexa, you can listen through Alexa as well, and also through Google. Right, now we're going to be talking about safeguarding. Now, safeguarding is a term used to denote measures to protect the health and well-being and human rights of individuals, which allow people, especially children, young people and vulnerable adults as well, to live free from abuse, harm and neglect. Now, to take part in this discussion, again, you can give us a call on 01902 972 150 or text us on 07440 420 432. If you're watching us live on Facebook, you will see the numbers streaming across the screen. Now, joining me is Pav. She's going to tell us a bit more about what safeguarding is and why it is important. But first, I think we need to get Pav to introduce herself. Hiya, Pav.
Hi Alvina. Hi everyone. I work for Wolverhampton Warwick Sector Council as a faith engagement worker. I started this role in 2017 just to sort of look at which faith organisations are in the city, and it's just the work's just roller coaster from there. So far we've we've got 278 faith organisations in the city. We've developed an interactive online map which people can update their details and make sure that their contact information are correct.
Yeah.
And also my role is to deliver training, basic safeguarding training to volunteers and faith committee members, and also to guide them through DBS checks and also show them how to recruit safely volunteers.
Okay. Now, we see the term safeguarding branded about. So can you tell us exactly what it is? What is safeguarding?
Well, safeguarding is having systems in place in faith organisations to make sure that you've got safeguarding lead, a deputy who are trained and know how to spot abuse and how to report it, and also safeguarding. The committee's responsibility to make sure that they recruit volunteers safely onto the board,
right?
As well as volunteers who may train or do activities with young people. Safeguarding is very much making sure the systems are in place, appropriate volunteers who are trained and who are in a form of trust.
Okay.
To look after young people and vulnerable adults.
Right. Okay. So what responsibilities will a mosque and a committee have in place to run them and to have the safeguarding measures around?
Well, everybody who's involved, from the committee members to all the volunteers, must be basic safeguard trained. They should have appropriate policy in place.
Okay.
If they have one, it needs to be updated regularly. They need to make sure they've got safer recruitment systems in place, i.e. an application form, just like you do with a job application and interview. And you check references and check any gaps in the history of employment.
Okay.
Just to make sure that you are recruiting somebody who is safe to work, even though they're volunteering. Make sure that you check whether they need to be volunteered, how much contact they'll have with a child, one-to-one, or would it be group setting, or would it be two people working together. And identifying a deputy and a lead is essential. When they will get a training which will mean that they know how to spot abuse, how to record it, how to support that person who may have been abused, and knowing how not to just sit on an issue. If you have a concern, raise it higher up.
Okay, so you're saying obviously that mosques, places of worship, it could be a gurdwara, it could be a temple, anything. They must have these safeguarding measures in place. Now, do you actually support the places of worship to set up these procedures? Do you help in the training? Do you offer that wider into the community as well?
Of course. We in last 2 years, in 2018 and 19, we supported 50 organisations.
Right, okay.
Across the cities. We've gone in the evening, a weekend, on Sunday.
Okay.
To deliver the training, to making sure that when they are available, because we understand all the committee members are volunteers.
Yes.
They have a full-time job possibly and other commitments, so we work with when they need the support. I've also run policy development workshops
Okay.
where we bring people together and look at their policy and update them, or help them to update it, or give them templates to develop a new one.
Okay.
It's not just having a policy that is the end all, it's how you're going to implement it. So there's lots of policies behind that one policy.
Okay.
So whistleblowing, your safer recruitments, and your there's absolutely loads. But that's where I'm here for. I support that. And I
Okay.
also advise them about DBS checks. What kind of DBS check do they need? And really go through all the system that they might need to put in place.
Okay. You talk about DBS checks. For those who don't know what a DBS check is, can you elaborate a bit more about that?
I knew you were going to ask me. It's, disclosure and barring checks.
Right,
Which means
okay.
that if you've got any criminal offences, say you've been arrested or you've been cautioned, it will be on your records. Obviously, if it's something minor, it may not show up because it's not criminal. If it's a crime committed, or that there's been an abuse and you've been accused of it, or you've been charged with it, so that will come up. And it's for the faith organisations to look at, why do I need to spend that money to do that?
Right.
It's about keeping your congregation safe. We get young people coming to us at each faith organisation and do some sort of religious studies.
Yeah.
And if we don't check our tutors or volunteers, their background, we're really leaving the door wide open.
Yes, of course.
And it's a
Yep.
reputational risk as well. So that if your congregation doesn't trust you, then you lose that reputation and trust.
So I take it there's a cost involved.
The cost is very minimum. It's around £11 to £17 for volunteer checks.
Oh, right, okay.
So we're always looking at, I'm always looking at where we can get a good deal. Being Desi, you have to look for a good deal.
It's in our blood, isn't it?
It's in our blood. So the National Volunteer Sector Council, if you become their member, which is free membership, and they charge about £7 to do
Okay.
checks. So I have the list of organisations who can do that, and I can email that to anybody that.
All right, so this is just DBS checks, is it?
Just DBS
What about safeguarding then? Do you actually, is it a cost implication as well? If, say, for example, a temple or a mosque or a church wants safeguarding procedures put in place,
Yeah.
would you do that at a cost, or is that
It's
just...
free. It's
Okay.
free. Any training that the people might need. Because of COVID now, everything's gone online, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So Wolverhampton Safeguarding website has a section where all the trainings is based. There's our dates available. People just book it on.
Okay.
And, you can do the online training. We have been trying to do some face-to-face training as well, but not till after 21st of June. I'm
Okay,
afraid.
right, yeah.
We're sort of hands are tied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally understand. So if parents or carers want to know more about what safeguarding arrangements are in a place of worship, what should they ask?
Well, we've actually got a checklist for
Okay.
parents. I was hoping that we can get that on somewhere, Facebook or...
Yeah, we could get that onto our
electronic.
website. Yes.
There's quite many questions people can ask. There's somebody who's looking after my child, our DBS checked. How much, what sort of knowledge do they have?
Yeah.
Do they teach my child? Is the venue safe? So things like that. They can ask all these questions. They can even ask for a child protection policy. Do you have a child protection policy in place? How do you implement it? Who is the safeguarding lead? I've actually developed a poster where you can put all these informations on and display it on your notice board so that everybody knows who's the safeguarding lead and deputy are and how
Brilliant.
to contact them. It's about really being open and transparent. and parents can actually go observe a class if they feel that they want to do that. You know,
Okay.
it's about obviously doing the health and safety checks as well around the venue, accessibility, and who else is. So, for instance, nobody can just walk into a class. So if there's a religious classes going on and children are being taught, it should be. Doors should be, or people should be aware who else is just walking in.
Yeah.
You know, are they signing in, and sort of, you've got to put all these things in place. Really.
Yeah. Okay. So as well as training then, so what kind of support do you also provide to places of worship other than organisations to help them basically with their safeguarding responsibilities?
I mean, during last year was absolutely awful. I mean, I felt awful because everybody was ringing up to say, you know, we really need you to come and have a look at our premises, whether we can open up safely or not, what kind of things we need to put in place. So we worked quite closely with City Council.
Yeah.
And the prevent officer who actually does risk assessment for faith organisations to make sure that they have one-way system in place, signs and all the signs of displayed, and the public health. I worked quite closely with them to make sure that we sent the messages out to community faith organisation as soon as I get them. They go straight out.
Yeah.
So I send out fortnightly newsletter.
Okay.
With all the informations about what we can't do, what training offers there are, we also have a faith network forum meetings quarterly, where we invite police and probation services and anybody else that the forum wants to talk about the issues about how we're going to keep people safe and how, you know.
Okay. Right. Okay. So also with regards to safeguarding, you talked about a website. How accessible is that, and what's the handle for it?
Okay, Wolverhampton, it's just Wolverhampton Safeguarding website. That's where all the informations are on training. I will send you all the links, which you can put on Facebook if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We also have a LADO officer, who's a local designated officer. If you have any concerns, that you can ring that person and ask for advice and guidance if you think that there's an abuse taking place or have taken place.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to ring up just children safeguarding, the number is 01902 55392.
Okay.
That's Monday to Thursday at 8:30 to 5. And Fridays and out of hours services is 01902 552 999. So that you can leave a message if you want to. They will come back to you. It's, you know, I mean, if it's urgent, obviously the phone will get picked up. But if somebody doesn't answer, they leave a message. Don't just
okay.
hang up.
Lovely. And is there a way that people can contact you as well?
Yep, my email address is faithsport@wolverhamptonvsc.org.uk, or you can WhatsApp me on 07538 105 780.
Brilliant. Now, if anybody's got any concerns or wants to raise anything regarding a safeguarding, there's the website, you said, there's the contact numbers. Is there anything else that you've got in place as well?
We have a website, Wolverhampton Voluntary Sector Council have a website, and there's a section on a faith support or faith safeguarding. I'm currently putting all the resources we've designed on the website so people can access it. There'll be a template of policies, there'll be a poster for your commitment, and any other resources that we've gathered along the way over 4 years. They will be all on there so people can just download and work on it. Another thing I wanted to mention, that even though this project finishes in a 6 to 9 months' time, we recruited 20 local people across the faiths to train them as trainers. So safeguarding trainers will be in place. We're hoping to deliver that training in June.
Okay.
And they'll be up and running by September. And they will deliver 3 courses a year over 2 years for me. So I'm hoping that this work carries on even though the project fund finishes, but the work will carry on. And these 20 people will have skills to support their peers, really. So, yeah, watch this space.
Okay. Panel, do you got any questions to
I
ask?
was just wondering, setting up a company or school, regulations are there. These are the rules. But going into a faith-based place, where people follow their faith. For example, in Sikhi, everyone's encouraged to do seva, to be a volunteer. So, do you face any challenges sometimes, or any concerns, or maybe I don't know, different with places of worship than you would?
Well, before I started this project, I mean, the smaller faith organizations and Sikh temples didn't do DBS checks because that's something, because there's a trust there. But we are encouraging to do DBS checks so that if you're a charity, it's a must that you must have safeguarding arrangements.
Do you go up do you follow up stuff? Because obviously sometimes you put a policy in place and everyone signs up to it, but then a couple of years down the line
it gets under the books.
It's like, where's your safeguarding policy? It's like in the filing cabinet somewhere.
I think it needs to be reviewed every year.
Okay.
Yeah, I would review every year because things change.
I was just thinking, there was a huge scandal in football which was aired on TV recently, where there was a lot of systematic abuse being taken place in a professional football club. And obviously I don't think back then there was any safeguarding or any training or not. There was no protection for any of the children and the young players who suffered then. So it's a really important thing.
What levels of education do you have on safeguarding?
Who, me?
No, I mean generally your courses.
We have a basic safeguarding training, which is just the 2 hours.
Okay.
But you can do the safeguarding leads and the deputies will do a day-long training, and it's not just.
Are they sort of based on NVQ levels or something?
No, there's no NVQ levels, but it's very much hands-on. It's very practical. Safer recruitment training and knowing about how to manage abuse. It's very. They use real examples.
Okay.
Real examples.
The only reason I asked, was because the job which I do, I've got NVQ level 2 in safeguarding. That's the only reason I asked, because
I think you should become trainer for us.
You just recruited somebody.
That's it, yeah.
Seriously, take my email address down. I'll send you the form.
Okay.
The more people we have, we're going to pay our trainers to train these trainers.
That'll be brilliant, actually.
That'd be quite interesting. That would be.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love it for you to maybe, represent this place or a mosque that you go to.
Yeah.
And you become their safeguarding lead.
Yeah.
Have you done many safeguarding policies for any of the places of worship at all?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
We've got around 12 already completed. It's a long process. As I said, people who come and volunteer for faith organisation also work full time.
Oh, okay.
So they don't have time to commit to it. But we managed, within a year and a bit, we've managed 12 organisations to complete their policies, do the DBS check. We've got the safer recruitments in place.
Yes.
They got the deputies, they got leads in place, which is amazing. We supported 50 organisations so far in 2 years to be trained, and 300 people. It's about the volunteers who would normally not have the training. Them are the people who've had it.
Okay.
So we're not concentrating on the larger churches, and they will be supported by the national bodies. It's the local ones who haven't got the national level or umbrella body.
Right, I see.
Looking after them.
Really, it's a project that needs to carry. I know you say it's coming to an end, or when it's only a limited amount of time, but it's something that's really important that needs to happen.
Definitely.
Almost
needs to carry on,
as
really.
as law, really. Just to encourage people to follow these, because kids are our future. They're our blank canvases. They're the future of helping and running this country we live in, and to protect them and look after them is a must.
Definitely.
I mean, this project will be running for over 4 years in July, and it was funded by Wolverhampton City Partnership, Safeguarding Partnership, should say.
Okay.
They can only give me so much money to run, but we are looking to keep it going by training volunteers to become trainers so that it can still carry on. And I'm hoping the 20 people who are out there will, I don't know, train another 20 organisation or 40 organisation. Can you imagine?
Right, okay. So do you vet these volunteers before you take them on then?
the volunteers we take on,
For the safeguarding
yeah, they
process
have
and
to be
stuff.
linked to a faith organization. Who
They
run
have to
this.
be linked.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's best that way because then they can support that organization
Yeah.
to upskill
Yeah.
the rest of the people there. So, but you don't need any other qualifications to be on it, really.
What
As long,
about if they're not any, or attached to any organization?
I'll link you on. I'll link you with the mosques, and if you're not careful.
There's
No, I
plenty
mean,
of
what I
mosques.
mean, what I mean by is, what if they're linked to some charity or organization?
I think that'll be fine as well.
Okay,
But
so-
we're encouraging each volunteer, the 20 train the trainers, to be linked with some organization. I mean, I'm
Okay.
supporting one of the Sikh temples because they haven't got a lead at the moment. So
No.
I said, even though I'm a volunteer, I'll
Yeah.
still help you. I'm still working here as well. So
Yeah.
I think some of the bigger charities, the bigger organisations, like you said, they've already got help.
Yeah.
Like, for example, for the foundation, we did a bit of football coaching. So we had our DBS and we had to sign forms and have training on,
yeah,
dealing and working with kids. So,
that's good. I think that's brilliant. You've got systems in place.
yeah.
Yeah, but we have a lady called Sharon who works for community support, voluntary sector community support. So if anybody's setting up any groups and they need guidance on what sort of things to put in place, she's the person to call. And she also knows
I think it's
there's lots of
something that,
funding out there.
if you look at faith organisations, it's something probably that no one really thinks of.
No, they don't. That's it.
Because there's a lot of kids going through the system, in faith organisations, in Gurdwara, in mosques.
Yeah.
There's lots of education that's happening. There's lots of teachers who are employed and some are voluntary. So it's something really important that.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Pal, for that. Obviously, in these difficult times, people are staying at home as well. Have you had many sort of COVID-related cases as well where you've been involved in?
Not really COVID-related cases. It's just about the faith organisation asking for advice.
Okay, so
What best to do, and then because I don't know everything, so I know a person I can refer to.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. We're just going to touch a bit back on what Manny was talking about as well, because obviously you do a lot of volunteering. So
Yeah.
questions come in. It says, how much time does Manny volunteer on a weekly basis?
You know what? At the moment, all of it. I had a few health issues of my own, so I was off work, but I carried on, because there's lots of things you can do, even if you're not physically able to. You can encourage people, you can
Yeah.
write things, you can do things. So it's basically, I don't like TV. I don't watch the football. I watch the football,
Yeah.
but that's if the Wolves are playing. I virtually watch. People ask me, "Oh, Line of Duty, did you see yesterday's?" I said, "What? What's that about?"
Yeah.
I've never seen any of these. I probably will get round to, watching TV one day, but I try and focus as much as possible. The basics of our faith, our meditation, and obviously earning a living, but also sharing our worth as well. So as much time as possible. I never keep account. Anything you do isn't enough.
Yeah.
That's how I treat it. So it's never, I've done 8-hour shifts at work and then gone and I volunteered for 12 hours
Oh my God.
beforehand. and it's just because it gives you so much back. It's a priceless commodity. It's not something you can explain or put any worth on. And just seeing other people benefiting. The problem is you've noticed as well working with the homeless and the vulnerable of our city. The problem is huge.
It
huge.
is.
Yeah, it is.
The food banks are just queues and queues, and these big food banks are running out daily.
They are.
Daily. They're asking for more and asking for more. One of the things we managed to do, and you guys benefited, was just an ex-colleague of mine who used
Hold the thought there.
Yeah.
We're just going to go into a break and then we'll come straight back.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back. You're tuned into Ramadan Radio Wolves on 87.9 FM. And also we are streaming Facebook as well. You can see all the contact numbers on for the studio and for WhatsApp as well. But just to remind you, if you want to take part in any of the discussions, you can give us a call on 01902 972 150 or drop us a text message on 07440 420 432. Pav, we were talking about safeguarding and you wanted to mention something, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just thinking that we're going to be faith organisation going to be opening soon. So maybe you need to do a risk assessment.
Okay.
A person who can help you is Deborah Smith. Her email address is deborah.smith@wolverhampton.gov.uk. So if she can come and actually advise you
Okay.
how best to open it safely. And another thing I was mentioning that wanted to mention that during COVID we see that people are being at home, people are shielding.
Yes.
And just be aware of your neighbours, you know, from adults who are maybe facing abuse or neglect or even domestic violence.
Yeah.
If you're concerned, don't just leave it, please. It's everybody's responsibility.
It is, yes.
There is a number you can call, which is Wolverhampton 551199, and report anything that you see and hear.
Okay, lovely.
Essential. Thank you.
Right. For those who are listening on the airwaves, all this information will be repeated on Facebook, so you can watch it all back again and take all the necessary numbers and details as well. Right. Okay. Now, joining me in the studio also is a loose brother who goes by the name of Amjad Shah. Amjad, do you want to introduce yourself and let everybody know a bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Amjad Shah, and I've been an avid volunteer in the community for quite a long time. I'm at that kind of age now where I think half a century is where have all the years gone and what have I done? But Alhamdulillah, it's been blessed. It's been a roller coaster of a journey, but you know, we all have our ups and downs, I guess, and we all try to do our best in life and try to do our best for others as well, which like Mani said, right, that our deen teaches us that, you know, do good and you know, you'll get rewarded.
Excellent. Okay. Now, as you know, listeners, this year Ramadan is here, and we as Muslims around the world are all observing the month of fast as well. Now, for the second year in succession, the observance will be very different to the usual that we are definitely, again, under the restrictions of COVID-19 pandemic. Nothing has changed. However, some traditions will endure, such as the customary Ramadan Mubarak and Ramadan greetings that we are doing, and even whether it's being delivered through WhatsApp, whether it's being done through Zoom or FaceTime, the same thing is going and nothing is changing. So we will be discussing what is Ramadan and what Ramadan is for family during COVID-19, the rituals and more, and then we will get our counterparts to take part in the discussion as well. If you want to take part, please feel free to do so. The number is 01902 972 150 or drop us a WhatsApp on 07440 420 432. So, Amjad, for our non-Muslim brothers and sisters, can you tell us what Ramadan is and what it means for you and your family as well, and even your work colleagues?
Ramadan is, it comes every year, Alhamdulillah, you know, and what Ramadan teaches us, right? And it's one of the 5 pillars of Islam, anyway, and it has a specific message, like everything else in life, to become a better human being, to give charity, to have self-control, and it gives you the reflection on doing ibadah, you know, to pray, and you know, to find that meaning of life. Whereas sometimes I think, you know, we so you know, the rest of the year we sort of like get enticed into the worldly sort of like world where it's you know, it's a materialistic world. This is and I think what we need to appreciate the fact is, right, that Ramadan teaches us to think about others as well at the same time, and I think that's the biggest blessing I find, that I know that I've got food on my table, and my next door neighbour's got food on his table as well, and it's a big thing because our neighbours, right, they have a big right on us as well, because on the day of judgment, as Muslims, we believe that if my next door neighbor is hungry and starving while I've got food on my table, I will be judged for that. And I feel that it's very enlightening that Ramadan is a month where you feel the compassion in life, and I feel that it enlightens your heart to give as well at the same time. I don't know if you guys know, right, but in the month of Ramadan, I think the Muslim community give the most charity ever. I think it's usually about, I think it's about 62 million pound in 1 month alone is sort of like collected. I think just in the UK itself, which is a lot of money, that is. And Alhamdulillah, it is very, very good. And like the rest of the communities who are doing a lot of good work as well in helping others as well. I feel that Ramadan is a time to reflect on yourself as well, to make yourself a better human being than what you was yesterday, and just take yourself forward.
Okay, Manny and Pav, you
Yeah.
you might also have some counterparts, friends who are Muslims and stuff. So when you're at work or you're with your colleagues, how do you find Ramadan, and how do you find them when they're fasting? I mean, for example, today I was at work. And they're all saying, "Oh, would you like a cup of tea or coffee or whatever?" And I says, "No, I'm fasting." Okay, so that sort of registered then. But then come the second round, again, it was talking about lunch, and then they forgot and stuff. Do you feel guilty that you're saying to a Muslim person, "Oh, do you want coffee or
You
tea
know
or
what?
whatever?"
I've actually got somebody who works for me who's a Muslim brother,
Okay.
and obviously he prays 5 times, and he does that through his break times, and obviously then he goes into fasting. And the key in this is listening to Amjad just now is
Yeah.
complete and utter education. He's a Muslim who practices his faith, and he's explaining it from the heart. And this is what we don't get in society.
Yeah.
We lack this, So I'm a Sikh, and there's Pavs here, and we're
Yes.
from different backgrounds, and
yeah.
different, and we don't talk enough. And so just listening to him, I've learnt a lot
Oh,
about
right.
what he is feeling
Yeah.
as a Muslim during Ramadan.
You can see
And-
that compassion in him, can't you?
and the qualities he talks about are the exact same qualities that I will talk about.
Exactly.
Of what we celebrated Vasaki yesterday.
Yes, you did,
Which
yes.
was about breaking down barriers, seeing the human race as one.
Yes.
Looking after your brothers and sisters,
Yes.
and protecting the poor and the suffering. So it's exactly the same. The message is actually, and it gets sometimes on titles and on faiths. We don't go to the actual real meaning of why we exist in the first
That's
place.
right.
And there we achieve commonality. And even at work, like you said, we have people who fast, and then you think, oh, there are people who ask questions. Oh, why are they doing? And people are inquisitive, and sometimes people do it in their own way, and
Yeah.
it gets into banter or maybe taking the mick, or why are you doing that? And it's just a lack. And if people understood, and if you had the ability to try and explain it, it's very hard because you're working.
It is,
so you
that's
can't
right.
really hold a forum there and
No.
say, everybody gather around. I'm about to
Yeah.
explain my deep thoughts, unless somebody's really
Yeah.
inquisitive and wants to find out. So forums like this, getting people from different faiths sitting
Yes.
down, talking,
Yeah.
explaining, really important.
It is.
It opens people's eyes.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah.
I think what the biggest issue is, like you've just mentioned, we don't talk
no.
enough with each other, and I think the barrier there, it is a massive barrier really, because sometimes a lot of people do feel the fact that what if I say something wrong,
Yeah,
or what if the guy gets offended, right? You're not gonna know until you don't go and ask that person,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And you're not gonna learn anything.
It's funny. I've sat with people who have come to me with, on the face of it, real. You think, why are you asking me that question? And if that was aired publicly, people would say, "Oh, why has he said that?" But like Amjad said, that's the first point. That's where you can actually sit down, pour a cup of tea,
Yeah.
and talk about things.
True.
And actually, you start learning, and you both learn. You both learn. I'm
True.
learning listening to him.
Yes.
And people will learn listening to me. That's how life works. And,
That's right.
And it all starts with communication, deep communication, going beyond the layer of you know, it is Manny sitting here who's doing fundraising. What is it? What are his thoughts and beliefs? Why does he do it? What are his passions? What attaches him to this thinking? And the same with Amjad. The way he explained that, you could tell. You know, the guy was talking from within.
Yes,
and
he
that's
was,
really
yes.
important. Bringing the inside out.
That's right.
The inside is exactly the same. If we took
Yeah.
all our covers off, we'd all be exactly the same, wouldn't we?
Definitely.
Well, the thing is, right, I mean, like, at the end of the day, I read quite a lot, and I do read on different faiths. I mean, I've read on Sikhi, I've done Judaism, Christianity, and everything. I do sort of like, I do love history, and I do love religion as well, and I like to. But every religion that you sort of like read about gives the same answer to everything: love, peace, you know, sharing, caring. You know, and like you just said, humanity is love thy neighbor. You know, we're not different. We bleed the same blood. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God made us in different forms, shapes and sizes. But at the end of the day, we're just one human race. And I think the day that we sort of like understand that, you know, we can be sort of like, you know, a race.
Yeah, being equal.
Yeah, equal, yeah.
And being aware of when my colleagues are fasting, and you know, being aware and not sitting in front of somebody who is fasting and eating. You know, just being courteous.
And coming back to the same question, right? My best friend was a Sikhi as well.
Yeah.
And we went from school, from first year to college, we did.
Yeah.
I used to go to his house and all that kind of stuff. Auntie Ji used to even know that I used to eat halal food.
Yeah.
So she never used to cook anything else, right? And it's like vegetables and stuff like that. And unless we sort of like don't dialogue with each other, we're not going to know.
That's right, yeah.
And he used to come to my house and he used to eat anything he did. You know, and it was great. It's that kind of rapport.
It's like, you know, we've been in this phase of lockdown and that's prevented us going out and meeting people. But actually, sometimes it's probably given us a lot of time to reflect and use forums like radio or phones or doing video calls.
Yeah.
And we've got opportunity to maybe learn more and dig a bit more,
That's
not
right.
just expect to magically have it appear in society just because I mix with people that I know everything about them.
Yeah.
And we've got no excuses now. There's plenty of material out there. There's lots of education, and it's down to us to open our eyes and look for the reality. And the reality is exactly the same, like you said.
It is,
We're you know.
Just to sort of like elaborate as well. I mean, like the amount of passion I have. I mean, like Nankana Sahib, I've been there.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been there, so
And,
you can tell me about the experience that I long
and
for.
even Punjab Sahib,
Yeah.
because I've got property in Rawalpindi,
Yeah.
and Punjab Sahib's only about 20 minutes away in Hassan Abdal,
Yeah.
and I've been there as well, and I've experienced that the people there as well. I mean, there's no difference because, you know, we just say, we say, oh, like they say that we're Pakistani as well. We say we're Pakistani as well,
Yeah.
and the love and affection that I felt there as well when I went there, it was amazing because I told them where I was from,
Yeah.
and you know they sort of like, oh, welcome.
Yeah.
You know, you've come all that way to come and, you know, see this place and stuff like that. And it was just amazing. It was.
See, those things don't really get seen.
They don't,
so
no,
the
you're
juicy
right,
stuff,
yes.
the media's
Yeah.
after the juicy stuff, and that's what gets
That's-
thrown in front of our faces. But, you know, the real life of real people living with each other.
Yes.
And, you know, old communities used to live with each other
That's
and put up with each other. And you could say things to each other without getting offended and without
True,
getting
yeah.
in trouble, you know, and learn from that basis. So it's really encouraging to.
Yeah, being a child in India, we just lived side by side, different faiths.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we never thought of, oh, you're different faiths. We can't talk to you. We can't eat there.
Yeah.
None of that. It's only when I came here I'm thinking, oh, are we not? Oh, okay, we're not allowed. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It gets you thinking, doesn't it? I'm just so. At what age did you actually start fasting then?
I was quite young. I mean, I think because I grew up in that kind of era, like, you know, the early 70s. And, you know, father had a stick as well at that kind of time, right? You know, when we grew up, right? And, oh, yeah, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. And I think I must have been about 12, 13, I think. Yeah.
So, what's your morning ritual when you get up then? So, say for example, it's Sehri time. Talk us through the process. What do you go through for the benefit of Mani and Pav as well?
Well, mine personally, right, is you know, you struggle to get up anyway in the first place. But my a daily routine, even besides Sahri or the month of Ramadan, my morning starts at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm out of the house every morning, and I don't usually get home until about 9 o'clock at night. I work during the day, and then after that, it's all charity work as well. So it does become a long day. Coming back to Ramadan, like I said, you do struggle to get up in the morning, but you have to because of, like I said, the pillar of Islam it is. And you get up, you do wuzu, ablution, and you go downstairs and you eat what you can eat. I mean, in our households, it's like parathe, man, and stuff like that.
You need that though early in the morning, don't you?
But me personally,
You don't have to eat it the rest of the day when you've had a paratha.
That's it.
But me personally, I don't get on with parathe and I don't get on with spices. I don't know. That's just me. I just have suki roti and stuff like that, and something light. And I pray. As soon as I pray, I'm out of the house, and it's just go after that.
Right. So, what's your favourite part then about Ramadan?
I think the favorite part is when when it hits about 12, 1 o'clock, and you're feeling hungry,
Yeah.
and you reflect on life and you think to yourself, "Yar, there's people out there who are more hungrier than you."
Yeah.
They're doing Ramadan every night of their lives.
Right? We in this country we have it so cushy
Yeah.
that the weather's okay, right? Hard work is. I mean, I'm a driver. How hard can it be, right? There are people in third world countries who are like suffering like 40-degree heats, right? Pulling a trolley or pulling what you call it, a cart, yeah. And I mean, if they can do it, we live in a country, right, which is advanced. We've got everything at a touch of a button, right? And I feel that that is the biggest thing that really motivates me. That you can do it. I mean, okay, fair enough. The first 1 or 2 fastings are a bit hard because you're eating all year through, and they do get a bit hard for the first 2 or 3 days. But I think after that, you just reflect on it that I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, And then I think the faith, it kicks in as well, right? That my faith is strong, man, and I can do this.
It's funny, anything in life, if you want to achieve it to a good level, requires hard work, dedication, whether you're a doctor or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
So faith is exactly the same. It requires hard work, and the hard work's important because if it's easy, we don't benefit. It's because it's hard we benefit.
Yeah.
When you've done something, if you've worked really hard on a project and then achieved, it gives you so much more satisfaction than somebody just giving you an award and saying, "Here you go." And that's the whole purpose of it. It's meant to be hard.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't shy away from working
No,
hard.
definitely not.
And challenging ourselves to be better. And that improves us. Gives us more strength to cope. Because we're going to have pain in our lives. Everybody, from the queen to the beggar, you're going to experience pain. Yeah. But we've got tools that can cope with this pain to make it easier for us and for other people. And we just don't use them enough in life, and because as soon as the hard work comes, we shy away, think, "Oh, that's too hard for us. That's too hard for us." But that's where all the benefit is if you go that extra mile. I always say, if you've got food on the table, you've got roof over your head, you've got somebody to talk to, and you've got basic health. You've got those four things in your life, which probably all us four have. We're sitting on the top of the pyramid of humans of life. We've made it. We've smashed it. Life's done. It's only the compulsory. It's only the optional bits that make us suffer.
Yeah.
All the optional extras.
Yeah.
We suffer now from the optional. All our bases are covered. There's people out there who don't have a roof, who don't have food, have no one to talk to, and they don't have health.
Yeah.
So we should be helping and focusing on those people to cover those areas that they lack in, so they've got a chance of living as humans as well. Our bases are covered,
and those people, what we believe in, are the ones who are going to be greatly rewarded. Because of the suffering that they're going through, and they're fasting at the same time as well.
That's right.
Right, like I said to you before, we've got it really cushy in this country, but like you said, when we haven't got a roof over our head, and we haven't got food in the morning to close our fast, those people are going to be immensely rewarded. Those are, and especially when you're working in 40 degrees, 48 degrees heat and stuff like that. It is hard, very, very hard.
Manny, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
It's come through on WhatsApp. It says here, what skills are needed for volunteering?
Human. If you've got arms, legs, you're ready.
Yeah.
There's no one who's not ready to volunteer, whether it's sticking labels on a bag or whether it's packing stuff or it's going to deliver stuff, or it's a huge operation. Volunteering is.
Yeah.
It's not somebody running marathons. You don't have to run a marathon. You can just go to your local centre and help them pack stuff like the food banks do. So there's always opportunities. There's so many different charities. Get hold of them. You can be an ambassador, for lots of different charities. You can do ambassadorial work for the big organisations and the smaller local ones. There's so many areas that we can do a lot. There's actually, litter picking groups. Believe it or not, groups who are going around doing their own litter picking in canals and barge because they want to do something for society.
Yes.
They don't get, but, people think, well, why are you doing that? You're not getting paid for it. It's an inner reward. It's something you can't describe, and it's priceless. And doing that selflessly and just going out there to help people is really important for the development of society. I think, personally, in my faith, we meditate a lot. So, I'd always say meditation and seva. Get those two in your life. You've cracked life. That's
Definitely.
it. Done. Tick off the box of humanity.
Now, obviously, you've been involved in charity work for over 20 odd years.
Yeah.
So, can you sort of tell me about an aspect of a volunteer experience that you've really enjoyed, and a part that you wish that had been different, maybe?
The enjoyment for me is the connection between totally and utterly random souls that you've never met. The thing that makes us suffer in life is attachment. So if my daughter is suffering at home or she's ill, I'm going to then be affected. The neighbour's daughter is ill, I'm not affected. There's two daughters ill. Why am I not affected by one and not the other? It's because I have attachment to one. So what this fundraising volunteering does for me is it provides no expectations and no attachments. You meet people you're not attached to, so you just focus on the goodness. So I've got a group of like 12 people who drive for Samosa Saturday and they deliver, and they've all become really close friends of the family. They're all English white, born and bred in this country who help me. And so they've learnt a lot of me and my background and my family's background, and I sometimes include faith into that as well.
That's really good.
So they learn from that, and you can see how they've grown as so just the benefit they're getting. So that's the biggest aspect of the volunteering I like, is the random nature of the people you meet and you work with. And we say in that respect they're your real true brothers and sisters, because because you're doing something together which is priceless, and it makes a change. It's not just a everyday thing at home, where we develop expectations. If I'm married, I have an expectation of I'm married now, so this is how I assume the marriage will be. My kids, I expect. So that those expectations actually destroy us, and we need to take them away and just live every single day, focusing on why we're here, what we've got to do, trying to do good, retain our peace. Remember,
Definitely.
Peace of mind, your own peace of mind. So the first person that benefits from volunteering is me. You'll say, a lot of people get help. The first person is me. If I don't get any help and I don't if I don't benefit, then it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Because that's the one thing we've got to do, is reflect on ourselves and try and improve ourselves. So anything we do in life, is it improving and developing ourselves as better humans? Is it promoting kindness, compassion, courage, bravery, all those brilliant tools and energies that we've got within inside us? Are we bringing them out? And that is the biggest aspect. I don't really have any regrets or things that you can do differently, because those things are really important. When things go wrong and don't happen as you want them to happen, or you make mistakes or you do something wrong, brilliant. Because they make us reflect.
That's right.
They make us change. If we didn't have pain, or if we didn't have things go wrong, we'd never learn. We'd never move forward. So for me, there's no regrets, or there's no wrong or right. It's just trying your best every day to try and live a human life.
Yeah. It's going to go into a text message that's come in as well. It says, great show, Alvina. Super conversation. Really enjoyed listening in. And that's from Cider. Thank you very much to their Cider. We've got about 54 seconds remaining. So, Manny, very quickly, what have you learned about yourself as a volunteer?
What have I learned about myself? That there's nothing that is impossible.
Yeah.
You know, in impossible, we say, I am impossible. I am impossible. You know, there's nothing. In life, we can make a difference, a huge difference to a lot of different lives, and we don't need to know somebody to benefit their lives.
Yeah.
We don't need to know their names, where they're from, what their personal preferences are to make their lives better. And that's what really encourages me to try and do more.
Right, okay, we're coming to the end of the show. So a big thank you to my panel. That's Manny Singh, Pav Main as well, and to Amjad Shah as well. You can find more of Loose Sisters next Wednesday from 6 p.m. right the way through to 7:30 p.m. Stay blessed.